Have you ever wondered how the iPhone came to be? The story is filled with drama, risk, sacrifice, and incredible innovation that shaped the world of technology as we know it. But behind the groundbreaking product, there are untold stories of struggle and genius that almost no one knows about. Let's rewind to the early 2000s. Apple had no intention of making a phone. In fact, their success came from the iPod, that sleek little device that revolutionized music. But inside Apple, something bigger was brewing, something that would change the world forever. The team at Apple, including some of the brightest minds, were working on secret projects. And in one of these projects, Apple's engineers began experimenting with touchscreens, something that wasn't popular at the time. One of the first hurdles was the concept itself. The original thought process wasn't even about a phone. It was about a device that could read digital content. In fact, Steve Jobs himself thought the touchscreen idea was just good for reading on a toilet. But little did he know, this comment would lead to one of the most revolutionary products in history. Behind the scenes, things weren't going smoothly. Jobs was struggling with his own health battle, having just been diagnosed with cancer. But this didn't slow him down. If anything, it pushed him harder to innovate and speed up Apple's timeline. One key person, Tony Fadell, was working tirelessly on making the iPod work with a phone. Meanwhile, Scott Forstall and his team were focusing on turning macOS into something mobile. The two teams were working separately in total secrecy, not knowing what the other team was doing. And let's face it, they were under pressure. Tony Fadell had to lead his iPod team while dealing with the looming threat of competitors like BlackBerry and Nokia. Meanwhile, Forstall's team was taking a bigger risk, trying to fit macOS into a tiny mobile device. Then something truly groundbreaking happened. MultiTouch. This innovation came from a small company called Fingerworks, which Apple bought. This MultiTouch tech would become the heart of the iPhone, allowing users to swipe, pinch, and tap their way through a phone interface in ways no one had imagined before. It was touch, but not like anything that had existed before. This was the true spark of the iPhone. However, the challenges kept coming. The engineers had to make a transparent multi-touch screen, develop custom chips, and get the hardware right. And then there was the CPU. Apple contracted Samsung to build the processor, but they only had chips designed for cable boxes. They had just 6 months to make these chips work for a phone, a tall order. And let's not forget about the screen. The first prototype was supposed to have a plastic screen, just like the iPods, but only a month before launch, Jobs insisted on using glass. That decision, it became iconic. The pressure was immense. Engineers were working around the clock, sometimes sleeping in the office. Many experienced personal struggles. For one engineer, Andy Greenland, the iPhone project led to a divorce. The pressure was relentless, with the fate of the company resting on this device. But despite the burnout and sleepless nights, the team pushed forward. Then, just 3 months before launch, disaster struck. The CPU was buggy and the iPhone still had critical issues. Apple's engineers began working 7 days a week, frantically trying to fix the bugs. Even when they managed to patch it together, the product still wasn't perfect. But through sheer will and genius, the iPhone team kept going. And when Steve Jobs took the stage in January 2007 to introduce the world to the iPhone, the product was far from flawless. It was still a prototype, with the CPU sometimes crashing and the hardware not fully ready. But Jobs didn't let that stop him. He demoed it with enthusiasm and confidence, showcasing a device that could change the world. The world watched in awe as Jobs demonstrated the touchscreen interface, showing off the smooth scrolling, the pinch to zoom, and the groundbreaking way to interact with a phone. The audience was captivated, and when Jobs slid through his contacts, deleting one, poor Tony Fadell's, he sent a clear message. Apple was taking control of the future of mobile technology. Fast forward to today, and the iPhone has evolved into the powerful must-have device we know. It's easy to forget how revolutionary the original iPhone was, how it broke down the barriers between people and technology. It made information accessible at our fingertips, and for the first time, we had a truly portable computer in our hands. But the story behind the iPhone is more than just a tech milestone. It's about the sacrifices of those who made it happen. As Ken Koshi, one of the engineers who helped develop the iPhone software, said, "I hope that you all use technology and that it brings you some joy in your life." And indeed, the iPhone brought joy, but it also changed the world in ways we're still discovering. Today, when we look at our smartphones, it's easy to forget the road it took to get here. The iPhone wasn't just a product, it was a game changer that forced the entire tech industry to rethink what a phone could be. From a secret project in Apple's labs to the most powerful devices in our pockets, the iPhone's legacy continues to unfold. So next time you grab your iPhone, think about the incredible journey it took to bring it to life. And who knows? Maybe the next big thing is just around the corner.